these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And
and all my troops, no time for a truce, there's only time for truth. No room for fair or regular cares. Stand clear of civilian affairs. Hold up, soldier, salute. If you're going up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Soldier, salute. If you're going up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Throw it up, salute. On to the truth, me and all my troops. No time for a truce, there's only time for truth. No room for fair or regular cares. Stand clear of civilian affairs. Hold up, soldier, salute. If you're going up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Soldier, salute. If you're going up, salute. Throw it up, salute. Throw it up, salute.
My apologies, family. I said that's why I try not to pre-schedule a live stream, cause life be lifing and life be streaming. But nevertheless, yeah, do like I do. Just catch the replay if you can't. But yeah, y'all see that word suspect up there, right? Let's get into it. I done had y'all waiting long enough. Y'all keep me straight now. If I ain't sharing my screen now, y'all. Matter of fact, let me pull out this. I got an extra device I don't even hardly use. Let me pull it out. That way I can look at the chat. Oh. But anyway, it needs to be charged, but I get it on the next one. Let me share my screen. All right. Now, what y'all know about the prefix sus? What y'all know about that word? Let's get into it. This is a Latin dictionary. But since I got him up in here, I believe my next video gonna be on this. Can y'all see that? Y'all know, I've been offering a reward for anybody that can prove the Messiah name was Jesus when he walked the earth. It's been over 10 years. Ain't nobody got that money yet. In times like these, people need a few G's. It's been 10 years. And this gonna kind of touch on it a little bit, but I ain't gonna deep dive into it. I'm probably gonna deep dive in it on the Shabbat. Okay? $1,000 reward if you can prove the Messiah's name was Jesus when he walked the earth. But let me get back into this. If you don't know, you don't know. But nevertheless, let me see here. This is Latin. It translated from Latin. Okay? To throw away, hurl, cast, utter. All right? Let's get to the other part of the name. Don't get offended. Y'all do investigate. Okay? Investigate. Don't get offended. The truth don't fear no investigation. Now look at what sus means. A darn pig. Look at it. Look at it. The swine, the pig, the sow. That name let me prove it to y'all. That name come from Latin. Okay. Let me see. Transliteration. I didn't intend to go here. Praise y'all. You'll be able to go, to be at Leah, to just go as he lead me to go. Okay? We do this transliteration. I gotta be more specific. Okay. Gotta be more specific. Y'all forget me. I've been up, working, rolling all day. No excuse. No excuse. I understand. What is this? Let me go back. I don't like all this stuff. Look like all kind of. Yeah, let me see here. Let me just look at the picture. me see if I click on the picture. Can I get that? Now. It ain't got oh, there it is, Latin. Okay, the J come from but look, the J come from Latin. The Roman Catholic Church turned that into a J. Let me clean this up. But nevertheless, I've covered this several times. Let me see. Let me. Okay. Let me see what year. Let me see here, y'all. We're gonna get it together. If not, if it's wrong, I apologize. I was wrong. But the J was 500 years old. Okay. Some of y'all say it ain't no big deal. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to show you the truth. I didn't even mean to go here. Okay. Okay, Catholics. But they created that letter in the 1500s, y'all. Okay. They created that. Okay. I'll revisit this Saturday on the Shabbat. But nevertheless, let me get back to it. Now. But he's Hebrew. The letter J wasn't even in existence. You don't just think about it like this, family. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on to the suspect. All right. Now, if my name starts with a J, if you just use the letter in your name. If your name starts with a B, I'm looking at Brenda's name, and she changed to another letter and try to cash that check, it ain't gonna work. You understand? Your name got a different sound. I'm not here to try to beat people into believing like I believe. But it's some stinking stuff going on, and Satan is using this. He's using this pagan God, this false image of the Messiah, to lead people to hell. Okay, that's what I'm doing. But let me move on to this. Let me keep going. Let me get back to the get back. All right, now sus. It means pig house. Now, y'all ever notice why people call police pigs? Thank you, Jerry. Y'all ever wondered? I at first, what triggered this video? I'm fairly old. Well, I'm not really old, but I'm above 50. I guess you could say that's old. And I remember people used to call police pigs. Okay. And then I got to looking, I got to typing in, and then I stumbled across this. The Romans had a legion. They had a military that was pigs. I'm just saying, they did. It really ain't funny because when you think about what they done, they killed a lot of our people. They slaughtered a lot of our people. Okay? The Roman Legion 10, Forensis, was famously associated with a pig or a wild boar symbol. Okay? All right? Secondary symbol, but nevertheless, a pig. And then you put that with Romans giving us the SUS. Now, I can prove this with the transliteration. They're giving us the SUS right here. It never changed. It never changed. This come from the Latins. Look. See? So they know what that suffix means. It's their language. And they just dropped it right on down. Okay, so now they got another Roman leader. They got another Roman leader, y'all. Hold on. That's associated with swine. You can't hardly make this stuff up. The truth indeed is stranger than fiction. Okay? The truth is stranger than fiction. So the Latins put that suffix, they transliterated the Messiah name with the pig at the end of it. I want y'all to think about that. I'm going to get into the police. All right. And then this is a Latin dictionary, y'all. This is a Latin dictionary. Latin search. Latin dictionary. Type in sus. Latin to English. Y'all see that? Type in sus. It's very suspicious. Hog, pig, sow, swine. When you say, well, they transliterated it from the Greek. Okay, I got you. They transliterated it from the Greek. Okay. Okay, if you go to the Greek, you got a bigger problem. In the Greek, the SUS and similar suffixes are not a word with a specific meaning, but rather honorific endings attached to names and places to show the reverence for Zeus. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Y'all see that? Let me get a one of y'all see that. Hey, look, I'm not trying to convince you to think like me. I get a lot of stuff wrong. Look, what you gonna do? Names mean something. You understand? You said, well, people got healed got saved in the name of Jesus. Okay. And the woman touched the hem of the Messiah's garment. She didn't call his name. He said, your faith have made you whole. Okay? Faith without works is dead. Satan knows the Messiah's name. But anyway, not screaming at you. It's just, hey, railing against these lies. You say, well, there it go right there. Now how you going to figure this out? The SUS suffix is giving homage. That's what it's for. So how do you explain? I don't know. I didn't even intend to go this way. How do you explain the transliteration of the name Messiah? How you explain the Greek? Remember, these were slave masters. The Greeks hung our babies, throw them over the wall, bash their heads in because we would not assimilate to their culture. Okay, the Romans, same thing. So keep that in mind. So what does that mean? The tree is rotten. The Messiah, Mashiach, said a tree is known by its fruit. Okay, but now I'm gonna touch more into this on the Shabbat. Y'all willing? Okay. Now they should have went when you oh, y'all can't see this. I'm sorry. When you translate names from one language to another, you go. Let's just say the Messiah, and that's an E. That's another language. That's because of the German Hebrew. But I'm not gonna get into that because it's spelled the same. But when you translate names, you go from Hebrew to English. You don't go through all this. Can you imagine trying to translate Xi Jinping? Okay, we're going to start with Chinese. We're going to start with Mandarin. And then we're going to go through the Greek and then through the Latin and then in the English. I just want y'all to see that. All right. Okay. I touch more on that on the Shabbat. Now, let me go back to one more image. I'm going to show y'all. You said it don't matter if you go to the Greek way. It don't matter if you go, you said, well, the name came through the Greek. It's a Hebrew, Greek. Okay. But how the sus right here. Jesus. And then you go to Latin, sus, sus, same thing. Okay. But yeah. Y'all see it. Look, it's verbatim. They just spelled it. They just dropped the O. They just dropped the O. See it? And now, if you say, well, okay, they transliterated the name through Greek. Okay, well, I just showed y'all that prefix in the Greek is paying homage to Zeus. Dionysius, you got this name in the Bible. Okay. S-O, see, there go the S-O. But anyway, I'm not, yeah. These are Greeks doing this. And then if you said, well, oh, y'all can't see that. Let me slow down. See that? I'm not gonna argue with nobody that don't know you. You don't know them. Remember, your faith make you whole. In other words, you obeying that word. Okay? You obeying that word. You doing what the Messiah say do. That's what show people what you believe. You understand? Tarshish. Paul of Tarshish, an ancient city whose name have been adapted to reflect connection to Zeus. Saul of Tarshish. Oh, he said Paul. There you go right there. Okay. And I know it's English and not yeah, English is actually come from a German dialect, English. But yeah. All right. Now, well, you said, but right here. Well, it's Latin. Okay. The Latin suffix of sus is hog, pig, sow, and swine. It don't matter. Okay. If nothing else, obey that Bible. Okay, obey that word, cause that's what we're gonna burn on. We don't obey that word. Let me look at the comments. Make sure I got everything. Checkmate. Shalom, DSB, Arlene Foster, Jersey Dooney, and anybody, Brenda Hill. Okay, but yeah, let me get back in here. I told y'all the reason why this came to mind. Let me check Rumble right quick. Let me check Rumble. Okay, the reason why this came to mind was because, you know, police. Y'all know y'all know Louisiana falsified a story and this brother ended up dead. Some people believe that he killed himself. Some said the police might have killed him. I don't know. I don't trust the police. I don't. That don't mean I hate them. I just don't trust. Just like white folks for no reason don't trust black folk. Me, with plenty reason, don't trust white folks. I got plenty reasons on top of reason, on top of reason, on top of treason not to trust white folk. History, the Bible, and everything in between. That don't mean I hate you. Don't expect me to be welcoming you with open arms. You're going to get fists before you get open arms from me. Just stay back and let me make up my own mind about you. Don't tell me you friends. Don't tell me. I don't need you to tell me anything. The Most High gonna tell me. Your actions gonna tell me. The fruit from your tree gonna tell me what you are, who you are, and why you are. But nevertheless, all right. All right, let me keep going. All right, I showed y'all that. The Romans flying under the banner of the pig. I thought that was interesting. Didn't know that. Sometimes when you just start researching stuff, you find a lot of stuff not even looking for it. Okay, I got that up there twice. All right, hold on, y'all. I just deleted something. Let me go into my history right quick, make sure I deleted the right thing. Okay, I deleted the right thing. I must have had it up there 3 times. All right, let me keep going. Now, yeah. This guy's name was Lacey, which immediately, Kyron Lacey. I remembered another guy, Lacey, that was also died under suspicious circumstances. Right here. 2014. Y'all know I covered that video. I covered that video. How, I'm gonna look at y'all, how somebody called his death in. I covered it a couple times. Called his death in. And then told the 911 operator that he hung himself. How you know? Was you there? How you know he hung himself? This is the phone call. Let me see, can I find it? I'll fast forward it to it. Let me see, can I find that video? It's going to be hard because it's been I know it come from CNN. Hold on. It's gonna be hard. But yeah, they told him his name was Lennon. Yeah, they told the 911 operator, I can't find it. He hung himself. And then the same person that called 911, suggested that they cut him down. This is a white woman called the 911. This is Lennon Lacey, not Kyron. Suggested that they cut him down. Okay, he mysteriously hung himself with nothing to get up there with. He got somebody else's shoes on. He got dog leashes that ain't his. You understand? What you said? What are you saying? I look at all of them in on it. The 911 caller, the coroner, the black Negro that's going right along. They the most dangerous one. The black Negro. Not trying to make you afraid, but just not knowing the truth don't protect you from the reality. Okay? Not knowing the truth don't protect you. All right, let me keep going. Now, there's a history of police-involved lynching. So why ain't they the suspects? When the black man come up lynched, I want y'all to start thinking. Black man lynched, and the police within a few hours already talking about suicide. Okay, there's a history of white folks hanging black folks. Why ain't they the suspects? There's a history of white police officers hanging black people. Why ain't they suspects? It's historical evidence. The FBI got a paper trail of hate groups inside of the police department. There's a history of white supremacist groups inside of law enforcement. Why ain't they the suspects? But no, that's too much like right. The Negro just can't wait to hang themselves. Let's go with that. But let me read a little bit of this. I'm just here to share the info. All right. Police involved lynching were part of I said they still are. Part of the wider history of lynching in the U.S., often involving law enforcement officials in the system of racial terror. You see, that's another genocide. The system of genocide and extrajudicial violence that targeted black people and other minorities, particularly after the Civil War and to this day. These events occurred when law enforcement officers either participated in, condoned, or failed to intervene. Now, today they can fail to intervene by helping covering it up. You know that Negro, that tree is too small. You cannot scientifically prove that person got up there in that tree. You should be able to scientifically prove that so-and-so climbed up in that tree. It's going to be skin cells on that tree. It's going to be bark or pieces of the tree embedded in the clothing. It's always something left behind. They don't tape off nothing. They don't examine nothing. They immediately go with the suicide. And I'm telling you, and I've been telling you for years, if you feel your life in danger, don't worry about going to jail. No, well, I don't know what you worry about going to jail for. You think these folks finna kill you. I don't know why you worry about going to jail. Okay? All right, let me keep reading. These events occurred when law enforcement officers either participated in, condoned, or failed to intervene. And don't let the black faces fool you. Remember those black officers in Memphis killed? What was his name? What was that black man name? Them black officers killed in Memphis. It was so egregious. I can just type in officers that killed black man in Memphis. It'll pop up. Let's just see. It's so egregious. We've always had Judases. Tyree Nichols. It's so egregious. See, it's so, yeah. The Messiah said you ain't gonna know them by it ain't your skin color. You said by their fruits you gonna know them. Let me. He said a tree is known by its fruits. Let me see here. Hold on. Right here. Matthew 7:20. All right, hold on. Let's start at 17. This is the Messiah speaking. Let me show it to you. All right. All right. Ye shall know them by their fruits, what their works, their actions. There's a saying, actions speak louder than words. You can tell me anything, but you can't show me everything. You can only show me what you're really doing. Eventually, you can cover it up and hide it and camouflage it, but eventually, the tree gonna remain to what it is. All right. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? All right. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. If you good, you gonna stay good. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. If you're evil, you gonna continuously do evil because you're an evil tree. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is cut down and cast into a fire. Now, let me break it down to you. Everybody that ain't been doing the Most High's work and will on Judgment Day, you gonna die. You getting cut down. That's your cutting down. Everybody getting cut down. But you gonna get cast in the fire if you ain't obeying the Most High. Look at it. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit, you know what good is, you know what evil is. Therefore, you're going to be judged by that because you're making a choice. You're going to be cut down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits, you're going to know who you're dealing with. Okay? It don't bother me for you to examine me. It don't bother me. It don't bother me because I'm not. I intend to be doing the will of the Most High. I'm gonna do the will of the Most High. So you can watch me now, and you can keep watching me. You ain't gonna find nothing wicked. I might falter, but that ain't gonna be the norm. You understand what I'm saying? If people are worried about you, now if you watching the undermine and lie, now that's a whole other category. But nevertheless, now. Let me see here. History of police. Okay. Post-Civil War. Let me skip down. Weakened judicial system. The prevalence of lynching reflected a lack of confidence in the formal justice system, which led communities and sometimes law enforcement to resort to. Now, this is a lie. The prevalence of lynchings reflect let me read this right. Told y'all I've been up. Let me slow down. The prevalence of lynchings reflected a lack of confidence in the justice system, which led to communities and sometimes law enforcement to resort to. Okay, I read it right. Okay, y'all see this? See, you have to have the Ruach, the spirit of truth, dwelling on the inside of you. Now look, let's test this out. Okay, this is saying the reason why white folks was lynching Negroes because they didn't have no confidence in the justice system, which led to communities and sometimes law enforcement to resort to mob rule. Okay, black folks ain't. Name a point in history. Hey, I'm gonna look in the chat. Name a point in history when the justice system was working for us. Name a point, y'all. Just give me a time date that the justice system been fair and equal. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. If you got zero, just put nothing up there. Put a zero. Give me a point in time. I know it's about a 20-second delay. Give me a point in time in history when the justice system, I'm testing this lie that this AI done put in front of you and I up there. And that point in system where the justice system was fair, equal, and balanced. Give me a time stamp. Give me a year. You understand? Okay. So, because AI just made an excuse as to why they lynching black folks. why they started. Look, let me read it to you again. A weakened justice system. The prevalence of lynchings reflected a lack of confidence in the formal justice system, which led communities, white people, because that's who did it, and sometimes law enforcement to resort to mob rule. Okay, then why? Okay, if that's actually logical, legit, and truthful, then it's about time for black folks to start getting this mob rule popping in, right? Hey, if that's actually true and it makes sense, it's time that we started going around lynching them then, right? Y'all see that lie? Y'all see that? I'm not telling y'all to do that. I'm just showing you that that lie is a lie and it's going to stay a lie. Let me see where this comes from. Let me see, can I find these sources? Let me see who wrote this. A deeper dive. Who wrote this? Now look at this. Now I got to start showing up. Got to start analyzing and scrutinizing. AI responses may include mistakes. All right, let me see. Let me type this in. I ain't got time to go into it too deep. Okay. The most High gonna show you what it is. Let me see here. Why was there a lack of why was there a lack of trust in the judicial system, which led to mob rule, as in the lynching of by communities? I ain't got my microphone on. Okay, you can tell I don't use this thing. I'm gonna have to start. But anyway, let me get back here. Hold on, y'all. Let me get back. All right. Let me move on. I ain't got my mic on. Not on that. All right, now. History of hate groups in law enforcement. Notice when black folks when we do something, they get the raids popping, they get the stings going, they get the prison popping, they get the battle rams and they get that going. Okay. But when it's them, that's because all of them hate you, just like the Bible said. All of that's why they gonna get the cruise. They gonna get a harsh punishment. They think they're getting away. Some of them starting to see it, but they don't believe it yet. They don't believe the fat meat is greasy. They don't believe. Look here. They don't believe. Let me have a little humor here. They don't believe that the fat meat is greasy. Don't let the Most High turn up the heat on those swine. We don't do bacon over here. We don't do none of that mess over here. We gonna let the Most High turn the heat up on them hogs. They've been going hog wild for the longest. They done turned this country since they took on the earth. They done turned it into a pigsty. Don't you cast your pearls before swine. You understand? That's in the Bible too. But nevertheless, I just had to have a little humor. Pork, what you doggone right. That's what made me stop eating swine. I was like, okay, that was the Christianity wearing off. I'm like, and then I learned pork, I was like, I don't need no worms in my brain. And then ain't no safe temperature to cook that mess. The Bible said don't eat it, doggone it, I'm not eating it. And then, also the Bible said don't eat ducks and stuff. I was driving by a cesspool and ducks out there at the cesspool. Y'all hear me? I said, I'm beginning to see why the Most High said don't eat that stuff. I'm riding, the ducks see some water. They don't know it's sewage. They in there swimming around and you gonna get the duck and eat it, huh? And wonder why you help. But nevertheless, let me get over and get back to the get back. But yeah. Well, let me. It's a reason why, and these rabbits. Y'all see that stuff going on with the rabbits? The Bible said don't eat them. Y'all see that stuff? It ain't nothing but a rodent. Yeah, eat vegetables. It's certain stuff they get. That's right. But let me get back. Let me get them back over here. There's a reason why the Most High said don't eat that stuff. But let's get back to this history of hate groups in law enforcement. While the term hate groups in relation to law enforcement, it ain't complex. It's white supremacy and hatred of black folks. See, they put that may have errors in there to absolve from lawsuits. See that? They put that in there cause yeah, to absolve from lawsuits. Okay. It ain't complex. What's complex about a hate? Come on, family. I know y'all tired of me. I can't. Hey, this stuff is right there, boy. It just. What's complex about a hate group being inside of law enforcement? What's wrong? What? Come on, family. That's right. All of them is rodents, squirrels, or acrobatic rat. Yeah, but come on. What's complex, y'all? What's complex? I'm about to start working this AI. I'll be asking this stuff. I'm gonna be asking. I'm gonna be pushing these. But reason why I don't use AI because I don't like my microphone. But I know they listening anyway. You think the CIA gonna ask for my permission to listen on my phone and access my camera? You think they gonna access? You think they gonna ask me that? Yeah, you must not know about COINTELPRO. You must not know about the drugs the CIA flooded our streets with. They ain't gonna wait and ask us for camera permission on your phone. I'm gonna start accessing this AI that way. Y'all, we gonna have AI smoking. It ain't gonna be able to compute. But nevertheless, all right, I ask y'all a question, family. Look, the term hate groups in relation to law enforcement is complex. What's hard about getting out the so-called racist white supremacists in law enforcement that has historically, since its inception, been killing us? Huh? Now let me ask this. I'm gonna ask the computer this question: does Israel still train our police? Remember, one time they were talking about it's the training. It's the training. It's the training. And then you looked around. And we found out another country training the police. Deadly exchange. U.S. sent hundreds of law enforcement to Israel to learn worst practices from IDF. The people that's in our spot. Y'all see that? I just did this today. Just now, y'all, in real time. And this come out, look, January 2025. Y'all see that? So they still sending them over there to Israel to train police. See. But yeah, let me get back on point over here. Let me see where I'm at. Let me see here. Okay. All right, now. All right, and let me see. Hate groups like the Ku Klux Klan. Okay. The FBI attacked and murdered and imprisoned members of the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers never bombed no white folks. They never stole property from white folks. They didn't sexually assault any white folks. They didn't, they ain't stole from white. None of that. The Panthers was a reaction to the problem called white supremacy. Police doing what they always do. Yet, the Panthers, they raided and locked them up and put trumped up charges on them, but the Klan is still stomping around. Ain't that something? But it's complex, Don't you know it's complex? Hey, it's complex. It's super algebra on steroid and lies. It's complex, y'all. It's hard to figure out. It's a conundrum. All right. Which has sometimes involved direct and then these heathens got a nerve to talk about what about black on black crime. Y'all can't hear me? Let me see. Can y'all hear me? Let me see. Can y'all hear me? I guess you can't. Hold on. Let me go out. Oh, okay. Y'all can hear me. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I got a message up there talking about they lost control. All right, now let's see what this historical context. I just, throughout U.S. history, hate groups like the Ku Klux Klan have been involved in acts of terrorism, but yet, now the Panthers ain't done this. If the Panthers done this, prove it. I ain't talking about something that might have happened with the police, because the police might have just manufactured something. I'm talking about a group, 1 or 2 people. Okay, I can't control every black person. If so and so decide to go out there and do something to the police, I can't control them. Now, if I know they're going, I'm gonna talk to them. Now I'll do that and see what's going on. But yeah, I can't control them. But nevertheless, all right. Violence and intimidation against Black America and other minorities. Okay, police brutality. But y'all Google it and read up there. Ain't no need of me just getting long-winded. All right, let me see how long I've been going. 46 minutes. Yeah, let me bring this to a close. All right, y'all remember this. Police officers were members of extremist group on Facebook. Where is the lawmakers? Where is the lawmakers getting together? I know that this got to be. Who is this? Who this? I know the police. They ain't getting together. They ain't getting together and arresting these folks. Now y'all know how when black folks get together and show their guns online, they arrest them. They find out they use the IP address and arrest them. Y'all know that? They use their IP and arrest them. But when it's white supremacists, they don't know how to track them down. They don't do no raids. They don't get together and make laws. They don't do none of that. Okay? I just want y'all to see what's going on. But this is the old story, 2019. They ain't arresting them. It's not criminalized. See, the way you get rid of this stuff, you can't train a demon. You punish it. If they don't learn, they go to prison, just like black folks. Let me see these videos right here. Let me see how long this video. I ain't got 19 minutes. Let me see here. Let me get a shot. This video, but look, just look, y'all. I want to see, did he get them 45 years, 85 years? Look. This is a dozen people. Let me see what this is. Y'all can't hear it out. Y'all can't hear it out. Can y'all hear that out? Let me make sure y'all can hear it. Make sure y'all can hear that. Hold on, I'm gonna go back into it. I don't think y'all can hear that. Could y'all hear that? Y'all can't hear it. Y'all can't hear it. Okay, y'all should be able to hear it now. Let me go back.
The drugs were there. I did not put the narcotics there.
First up, we head to Jackson County, Florida, for the trial of Zachary Wester. The former sheriff's deputy was charged with 67 counts of racketeering, fabricating evidence, false imprisonment, and possession of controlled substances. Wester's accused of planting drugs in a dozen vehicles during random traffic stops.
That's why if they ain't got no warrant, you tell them you don't consent to searches. They asking you questions, you got the right to remain silent. Because they're not asking you questions to help you. I'm telling you, they're not asking questions to help you. They're asking you questions to get you trumped up on something. Something that they can twist. That's why they're asking questions. Something they can twist. Remember, they said anything you say can and will be used. You don't have to answer nothing.
Appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
All of the drivers
Y'all excuse me. I think I see what his crime was. He did this to white people.
denied owning the drugs, but yet most were subsequently arrested.
You have the right to remain silent.
The arrest caused suspicion internally, and in 2018, Wester was suspended. 3 years later, the case went to trial. He pleaded not guilty to all charges.
This is a case about an abuse of an incredible power, about the abuse of the incredible trust that we all put, and we have to put, in law enforcement in a society.
The prosecution relied on the defendant's own body cam footage to help argue their case. Stephen Van, a convicted felon, had recently gotten out of jail when Wester supposedly found methamphetamine in his car.
Have you ever seen this before?
No, what is that?
I'm just trying to figure out how that stuff got in your car. You're gonna go to jail today for possession of methamphetamine, okay?
Oh man, dude, I'm serious, dude. Anything, what you want me to do, man?
Like the other drivers who testified, Van gave the officer permission to search his car because he claims he had nothing to hide.
You tell them to go get a warrant. You ain't got to be smart about it, smug about it. Just tell them to go get a warrant. You protecting yourself. You ain't got to be smart about it.
I knew my truck was clean. I knew it was.
While the jury got to watch most of the traffic stops, some recordings had mysteriously disappeared.
Why in the world would that have been deleted? I wish I knew that answer.
Ironically, body cam footage would become the strongest element in the prosecution's case, especially when it came to Teresa Odom.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
At first, the officer's polite, even playful.
Anything in the vehicle I need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades, rocket launchers? Okay.
Absolutely.
While Odom stands behind the vehicle, Wester begins his search. Notice as he prepares to put his gloves on, there's a small item in his left hand. Prosecutors argue that Wester is palming a small bag of meth, which he claims to find next to a spoon in the vehicle.
Miss Odom.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay.
Now, the white small plastic baggie that was in that spoon that the deputy just showed you on this video, had you ever seen that before?
No, sir.
Was that in your car?
No, sir.
As far as motive, the prosecution claims the 28-year-old officer was ambitious and wanted to move to narcotics as quickly as possible. Wester testified he never planted any drugs.
The drugs were there.
Okay. All right, let me move on. Y'all can watch. Let me see where y'all can watch that at. Let me see, where is it at? It's on A&E. There it is. You can pause and write that down if you want to watch the rest of that. All right, let me move on. They also got black sites they take people to. Well, this is instead of them taking you to the jail, the police station, you wonder why people confess to crimes they didn't commit. We don't know what happened to them. Maybe they got beat to death. I don't know. But yeah, black sites is where they take you somewhere and interrogate you and not the black. Let me read some of it. Let me see what this goes. It's a domestic black site inside one protester's secretive U.S. police detention. So it's not on the books. They take you somewhere else. And what I'd say, it was somewhere in Louisiana they took somebody. I forgot where it was at. But what I said, they'll take you to a black site. Who to say they won't take you to a darn tree? If you don't want to confess. That's why I best keep your mouth closed. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to do it. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. For you mysteriously end up in a tree and you can't prove nothing. Just be quiet. Let's see. Brian Jacob Church spent his better part of the day shackled inside of Chicago's Holman Square, denied access to an attorney. See, they violate. You said you got a right. Okay. See they breaking the law right here. Before police finally sent him to be booked and charged. All right. Lawyer said a facility is domestic equivalent to a CIA black site. And the other question I got, how is CIA allowed to have a black site? You could just take somebody somewhere and just do anything to them. Why is they allowed? You see how this goes. But nevertheless, it says when you go in, Church tells the Guardian no one knows what's happened to you. Well, now you can put tracking devices on your stuff. You can give away your location. You understand? When they walking up to the vehicle, just break out your phone and start recording. Let them know I'm getting pulled over. Don't forget this. Y'all remember what they did in Mississippi? What they did to look. Nothing but white supremacist terrorism. Sodomized, they sexually assaulted the men. See. Black folks is the most violent. While they sweeping their history up under the rug. Just shut up and keep us out your mouth, and I won't be having to do this stuff. Because they go to telling these lies. People actually believe this lie. People never seen you before in life. They got all their information about black folks from white people. The ones that got a history of using and abusing and killing us. They got all the information about us from the SUS-pects. But yeah. Cause they were living with a Becky. But nevertheless, let's see, it's 2 minutes, let's play it.
I had a group of thugs wearing badges that got out and went and committed a home invasion against 2 innocent men. It was completely criminal. Everything they did.
I don't believe nothing. I don't believe he mean that. He just doing it. He just politics. His politicking. It's a lot of black folks in Mississippi. See, I don't believe it until I see him in the pulpit. I ain't gonna be in the pulpit. In the pews, telling them that they wrong and they racist and they headed to hell. I don't believe nothing these folks. Oh yeah, this is Rankin County. Yeah. It's racist. Might as well call it racist county. But nevertheless, let me play it.
I had a group of thugs wearing badges that got out and went and committed a home invasion against 2 innocent men. It was completely criminal. Everything they did was outside the scope of their duty.
Sheriff Brian Bailey speaking about his department's so-called goon squad in January.
Oh, okay. They working under him. No wonder he talking like that. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Because he trying to figure out, am I going to get some time too?
5 sheriff's deputies and 1 police officer from a neighboring department forced their way into a home in Rankin County. That night, 1 deputy sent a text message asking, "Are y'all available for a mission?" according to court documents. Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins were inside. The 2 black men were tortured, tased, and say they were sexually assaulted for 2 hours.
Y'all leave these white folks alone. Leave Becky and Brad alone. Okay? I'm just going to tell you, do what you want to do. Well, remember, when you walk into a public place with them, they know who you are. You don't know which one of them demons are trying to kill you. But you do what you do.
At one point, a deputy put his gun inside Jenkins' mouth, shooting him. Then, according to court documents, the goon squad tried to cover it up. Jenkins told CNN about the pain he still suffers.
Has anyone from the department ever reached out to you and apologized? Have they ever asked for anything at all?
No.
Eventually, I'd like to apologize, to him. I've apologized to him on camera and everything like that. Now,
You apologize by reaching in your pension and pitch off some bread. That's what you do. Dig in that pocket. I know it ain't gonna solve nothing, but dig in that pocket. They hurt a little bit, you hurt. You want to apologize. Y'all keep y'all darn apologies.
I have seen them one time.
That's what's wrong. They think they can do anything to us and say, I'm sorry, and it's a clean slate. It's too many Negroes. Well, I ain't been hearing them lately. I forgive you, master. I forgive you, master. I forgive you. All the hoes that know against you. I know you didn't mean this, master. But next time, could you please put the whip down? That's just like telling Satan, I forgive you, Satan. Why you do so much killing? Because I'm a murderer. Satan, why you do so much stealing? Because I'm a thief. Well, Satan, can you tell the truth? Nope. Why? You know why. Oh, because you was a liar. But nevertheless.
Person.
It's the first time the victims have been offered a face-to-face meeting.
I'm sorry for what happened to him, but again, that was not a deputy sheriff that did that to him. That was a criminal.
That was a deputy sheriff. If you know the history of policing in America, that was a deputy sheriff.
Bailey won re-election earlier this month. He ran unopposed.
Let me look up the demographics of Rankin County. How did he win? We in trouble. Let me see. DSB, you still in here? What's the demographics of Rankin County? I'm looking for the demographic. Let me type in by race. You got to type it in. Let me see here. I think they called the police. A white woman called the police because them black men was staying with her. She was living with them or something. So it's probably a bunch of white people there. But nevertheless, let me see here. I'm looking for the numbers. 72% white. Okay. All right, let me move on. Oh, y'all can't see that. There it is right there. See. All right. Let me see what else I got. I'm just making sure I ain't overlooked nothing. Okay. The term pig for police originates from 19th century England, where pig was a derogatory term for someone disliked or morally corrupt, and was applied to early police officers, possibly due to perception of corruption. Oh, you think? The term gained widespread. Fred Hampton, the Panthers used to call them pigs. American usage during the anti-establishment protests in 1960. Yeah. But all right, let me move on. All right, family. Shalom, Yasharella, Yasharel, and everybody else. All right, family. Y'all take care. Any questions?
To the ground, this killer walked up on them bowling.
and looked him in the eye. He said, aren't you gonna beg? He said, no, I signed up to die. Death don't